So this book was voted the number one memoir of 2023 on Goodreads, the People's Choice Awards for literature. And so I thought, why not read it together? Hello and welcome back to the Looking Glass World. My name is Aradhana Mathews, and today we're doing something a little different where we read a book together. I'm not sure how this is going to work, but let's try it. We're starting with Woman in Me, and I have to say I don't know what to expect. I mean, we all know the story of Britney Spears and the things that she's been through, and I'm all for people profiting off their own misfortune. Go for it. You went through all that. Of course, you should make something with that. I think that's amazing, and I want to hear it from her words. But to be honest, from this book, I'm not really expecting very nuanced writing, and I don't know how deep we're gonna go and how much she's gonna talk about. So let's see. So far, we have covered childhood through about early adulthood, I think. Yeah, because she started in this industry so young, it already feels like she's had a longer career than anyone I know. But some things really stood out to me. Some things were more sad and also disturbing. She talks about the men in her family, how her grandfather was abusive and sexually molested a child in the family for several years till that child ran away at age 16. I think a father's half sister or something like that. Really disturbing stuff. And this same grandfather sent two wives to an asylum, but he was sent nowhere. And of course, his actions were justified, and people called him a perfectionist and whatnot, as usual. But one of the things I also did not understand at all was how certain aspects of how she was raised. So she describes her mother as someone who was like smoking in the kitchen and chatting with her friends. And I'm just like, what? This is totally unrelatable to me. She talks about she was driving at like 13 or something like that, drinking with her mom at 13. They smoked the same brand of cigarettes, and I'm just sitting here like, oh my God. Another thing that we've covered is the Mickey Mouse Club and how she was starting off, and like at age, 10 or 11, the amount these kids are made to work is insane. I am shocked that there are no like human rights violations being flagged here, because kids are like sitting till midnight as understudies. They're made to work like machines. There is no break. Forget about time to breathe and even be a child and have a childhood. I find that very disturbing. Around this time, we also meet our friend Justin Timberlake. Let me tell you right now, I'm not his biggest fan, especially considering all of the things that have come up in terms of his relationship with Britney and the Super Bowl, which actually really started it all with the Janet Jackson situation. And right from then, I was like very young when that happened, but as an adult, when I revisited it and really understood what was going on, I'm not a fan. So she talks about one time at a sleepover that Justin was dared to kiss her, and a Janet Jackson song was playing in the background. So after this, we go into some of the later years. She talks about an abortion. She got pregnant with Justin, and they did it very... I mean, they didn't go to a hospital. She was on her own. She was in a lot of pain. It sounds horrible. The only thing that I can sort of appreciate is the more pragmatic approach to the abortion, which is just a realistic understanding of how young they were, the place they were at in their lives. And I know this is a very controversial topic, but I'm not here to judge any decisions that anybody makes, but I feel horrible that she went through all that pain all by herself without professional medical help. And meanwhile, our man Justin is off sleeping with multiple other women. He's still dating her. And like this paragraph is all about how amazing it was. And this straight away we jump into, I know he was cheating on me. And then she says there was another time we were in Vegas. One of my dancers who'd been hanging out with him told me he gestured toward a girl and said, "Yeah, man, I hit that last night." And I have just written, ew. That pretty much sums up everything I feel about this man. This is day 2 of reading The Woman in Me by Britney Spears. And I have to say, if I thought it was bad till now, we have just entered the conservatorship era. And my God, I am so shocked. I've heard about this conservatorship thing before. For those of you who don't know, it's a kind of an arrangement that is done typically for people with like extreme dementia or mental illnesses who literally can't be trusted to do anything by themselves because, you know, the mental health is so bad that they are completely dependent on someone, can't make a phone call, can't drive, can't live by themselves. So then there's an appointed conservator who takes care of all of this for them. Now, this woman was never in that state, but somehow her dad and some other people managed to put her under a conservatorship. Literally, her dad's words were, "I am Britney Spears now." That just terrified me. And basically now, she can't make a phone call, she can't step out of her room, she can't do anything, she can't eat anything without permission first. And she's given a $2,000 weekly allowance, in spite of earning millions and millions for this family who is meanwhile going on vacations and chilling and stuff on her money. While she's eating boiled chicken and vegetables every day, constantly being told that she's fat, made to work out, is like trying to sneak a burger in because she's that desperate to eat something that tastes good. And all while everybody else is making money off of her. So this should have really been called Britney Spears Cash Cow, because I cannot believe that people are comfortable living like this with a clear conscience, that you're literally using this human being to make you money and treating them like this. And it just gets worse and worse. Like one time she wanted to treat her dancers to a fancy dinner, but she couldn't afford it. Britney Spears couldn't afford dinner for her dancers because her allowance ran out. And the reason that she played along with all of this is because her kids were used as ransom. If she behaves, she gets to see them on weekends. I mean, how sad is that? So basically they were dangled in front of her like carrots, and she was just like running just to get extra time to be with them. And that also wasn't enough. Then they send her off to like a mental facility with like crack and heroin addicts. The woman is scared. No family is reaching out to her. And then they put her in this institution where they say, "You're out of control, but if you behave and you stay here for a month, we'll let you back out and you can see your children, of course." So she says, okay, she goes in. They don't let her out. She is literally held somewhere against her will, and all this is legal. And then meanwhile, her set is being kept the same. She's not allowed to change up her songs. It's just like the level of going in there to just prove time and again that I own you, by whoever her conservators are. Just at every possible level, they want to remind her that she belongs to them and that she does not exist without them. She was essentially like tricked for 13 years, and nobody likes feeling that. So there's a lot of rage and anger and embarrassment and humiliation. And I think it's just really cool that she still talked about it. And that's quite brave, in my opinion, that someone went and did that despite going through all of this. So here's just some of the things that like she went through. I jotted it down. She had a home with an abusive father. She was overworked, had to go through an abortion with Justin Timberlake, villainized for something Justin did when he cheated but made it look like she cheated. She was sexualized publicly from childhood, objectified, disrespected, and then pushed to perform even when she was mentally unwell, harassed by tabloids, abused under the conservatorship, locked up and drugged against her will, and having her kids used against her. Oh my goodness. These are like my notes. She doesn't seem to have too many people that she can trust in her life, and that remains consistent throughout. So this woman has clearly been through more than most of us. I am very moved by how vulnerable she is in telling all of these things, even admitting the places where she messed up. There, even in spite of all of this happening, she's not necessarily playing victim where, oh my god, everyone hates me, everyone this and that, but she always positions herself as in a place of hope, which in a way is even sadder. And I really hope that everybody that did this to her faces some serious consequences. But either way, she got her story out there finally in her own words. She's able to own this narrative, and I can 100% see why this was voted the best memoir of 2023 by Goodreads readers. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at The Looking Glass World for more book recommendations, and check out my website aradhanamatthews.com if you want to see some of my original written work. But other than that, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.